Hello there, lads and ladies. Welcome back to the final weekend of Rugby World Cup 2022. Well, 2021, I should say. Today we are here for the bronze final to watch France take on Canada for the bronze final. It's horrible to see Canada. They've kind of had no fight today. You know, they've had literally all the fight taken out of them. France are leading by 36 points to 0. It kind of feels really heartbreaking to see Canada come this far just to have it ripped from them, but then you can say the same of France, you know. They've had a very hard time of it in the semis against New Zealand. Well, hard is kind of an understatement, really. You know, they tried really difficultly hard to beat New Zealand. If it just wasn't for that one kick in the semis, England would be going against France right now. If they just made that kick, then the final would have been looking different, really. And by the looks of things here, Canada have really lost that heart that they had beforehand going into the semis. But fair plays to France, they've literally given everything that they've gotten, and they've actually pulled through a win here today against Canada. 9 minutes left. There's probably time for maybe one, maybe two tries for Canada, but it's really looking like a bronze final here for France today.
That awareness and that sharpness, if you like, to ignite both those forward, should say direct to forward pack and ignite that back line.
I've tried really hard this morning to ignore all notifications. I've turned off my phone, I've turned off everything so no one can, like, you know, warn me of what's happened, you know, because the final happened like sometime around about 5, 6ish or something in the morning, not so sure, and I think it finished roughly around about 7 or 8 or something like that. So I've tried my best to like keep my head out of like the news or anything like that. Well, I'm actually surprised I didn't see anything when I turned the telly on this morning, so that might not be a good sign. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping England have done it, you know, but we'll have to see after this final. That was a nice little snatch from the hooker there in the scrum. Canada are on a charge now to see if they can try and go around the outside of France, and they've got the opening. They're trying to run around the outside, but she's being swamped on the wing, bless her, by too many French women. They now go down the other way to try and reset. France's defence is just next level, really. Their line work when it comes to line defence is brilliant. Very nice. Very good rush defence from France. Stolen the ball, she said. It's now France's ball. Looking to go for another try. Push it to 41.
Force them to play out of their half again. You know, smart play when you're down to 14 players.
Throwing it down. It's been knocked on. That's Canada's ball again. France have had one yellow quite recently. That might have been due to an accidental high tackle, I believe. Yeah, Givernier is the one who had the yellow. Nice, that's a tackle there from Canada. They're in the French 22, which now, because of that penalty from holding the ball, they now get the opportunity to kick the ball or go for a line out. French lass has injured herself. Yeah, not releasing the ball, there you go.
Everywhere around the park, but her kick, her chase, her turnover at the contact area.
Ow. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit for the penalty to sort itself out. Alright, they're going for a line out. The line out was cockeyed. It's gone the way of France. Canadian lass threw it way too far over the line out regulation line. France going to kick for the ball. back in Canada's hands. Number 7 charging through the entire French line, trying to make something out of this horrid situation for them. Just to leave with a single try at this point would be fantastic for them. But they're making good progress. They've got it. That was a knock on, but I don't think that counted because that was I think that was a charge down because she caught it with both hands. So that's France's ball now. But Canada are coming back. They've turned over the ball again. It's their ball. They really want this. They've now found the spirit to try and push something through to the end here. But France's defence is just next level. It's just next level, man.
England against New Zealand. Again.
Gone the way of France. Brilliantly caught there by the French back.
The awareness just to leave that ball.
France just ticking down the clock, ticking down to victory. Taking their time with it, setting up the set pieces. They don't have time. They have all the time to rush. They also have all the time to waste time as well if they want to. Have a shutout for Canada for the bronze final. Trying long throws to try and go around the outside. But something happened.
It's the other manager who's
number 8, she's been injured. Hope she's okay.
Players strewn all over the field.
Literally players everywhere over the field, mate.
Last game of the World Cup.
Unfortunate to see.
She looks in some discomfort, doesn't she, Rowan manager? He missed a couple of rounds of this World Cup with a head knock. Followed the protocols to come back, came back in that semi-final. Last week scored a couple.
She's huge for them, isn't she, in that game?
There's Romane Manager. Forgive me if I'm saying her name wrong.
Just doing all the right things again.
Completely butchering her name.
Just not finding hands.
As you can tell, not a native French speaker.
It's almost like a floated pass to somebody out the back, but they're just not making those connections today and enabling that French defence to stay nice and
right.
To be there on the field.
The pressure being on the other.
Either of these sides came to New Zealand for.
Still playing that song, bloody hell.
Over the world ranking, you know, that's a massive statement from them.
Nice to see the French fans still out here supporting their sides. Red, white and blue being strong all over the place. And a guy wearing a Lakers shirt, interesting. That guy's wearing a tri-banner on his head. That's brilliant. This crowd is lovely this weekend. Yeah, there's something different about a rugby community fan standings. Like nowhere else in the world where you get both sides just sitting close to one another during a game. In football, that's like a death sentence. You know, you wouldn't have like Crystal Palace sat next to Brighton or West Ham next to Millwall. You know, so to have the communities, rugby teams like sat next to each other, it's just that's what's different about rugby. It's the community, it's the love for the game, really. You know, it's the support you give to other people. And here we're seeing all French-Canadian blowout here for France.
Slowed right down.
Yeah, they don't mind slowing it down. Gives them time to think about what to do. Although I think at the end of the game, I would kind of enforce the time wasting rule a little bit more. Like if you're going to wait more than 5 seconds, then I'd give you a penalty warning. You know, I'm going to warn the penalty, so it gets them in the gear, but then if they do it again, that's when you like give the penalty. And then after the first warning, I then say you give the penalty, because if you've already been warned, then you give them the penalty. Then if you've been given the penalty, then you get given the yellow card, because that's basically the third chance, basically, that you've been given, and you've still unheeded it. So I think that's how the yellow should be given if you don't heed a penalty, in a certain sense, you know. France are just slowly choking the life out of this French team. Sorry? France is choking the life out of themselves. No, France is choking the life out of this Canadian team, unfortunately. I'm just reminded of like previous World Cups with France. That's what I like to tell myself whenever I see a French team like lose it from time to time. You know, it's usually France's to lose, and this one it's definitely not going the way of Canada. So good job to France for being able to quell that fear.
Because of the yellow card.
Like his teams, like France, are god tier teams. This French team could be a god tier team. It's just small things that they need to work on, small little things. It's like with the men's French team. More the men's French team than the women's French team, because the men's French team, they make mistakes, big, massive mistakes that can really lead to a loss, basically. We've seen it in previous Grand Slam opportunities that turned out horrid, or Six Nation games that really went the other way. Like 2020, I think it was because of Scotland that we were able to win the tournament that year. Yeah, so we have a big thank you to Scotland for that one. And then in 2021, I think Wales won that, but France, I think, were able to stop Wales or something by one game. Like, they stopped the Grand Slam for Wales. So really, if you catch them on a good day, France are the best team in the world. But if you catch them on an equally bad day, then it's just theirs to lose, basically. You know, France have the making to be the best team in the world, really, as do most of the other teams. But France have something different. You know, France are not afraid to test things left, right, and centre. Whereas England's team, the men's team, is kind of stuck in its old ways with Eddie Jones, basically. Like, I think the problem with Eddie is that he's focused too much on the World Cup, where there are so many other things that, as a rugby team, you have to focus on to better your own team, rather than just keeping old heads, old experienced heads with talented young ones, and then mixing them together to try and make something work out of it. That's France's win in this bronze final. A small victory for a very good French side, and just nothing but heartbreak. Another unforgiving fall for Canada. Good job to both of them. Good job to both teams, especially for France. They've shown that they've been a very good side. Close to a good final between England and France, but 1 point was the deficit. So they'll have to deal with a third place finish. But now, on to the main game. England versus New Zealand. Oh God. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. Guys. Alright. I'm going to put this on. Put these on that. And then I will see you shortly after this video has been uploaded. Oh. Wish us luck. Come on, ladies. You've got this. I believe in you. I believe in you, ladies. Come on.